now. At the end of the day, Brandon, do you think there will be a deal? Will anything get done?
No, there's not going to be a deal that's going to give President Trump a win. The Democrats just aren't going to do that. Going into 2020, they're doing everything that they can to take this president apart, and so they're not going to give him a win. They're just trying to push off everything that he's trying to do as long as they possibly can.
Okay, you're adamant about that. I mean, no progress whatsoever. At the end of 2 weeks, bingo, there's nothing going to happen. Adamant on that?
Well, No, I think that they might get a supplemental spending package, but I don't think that they're going to get anything that's going to be done on the asylum end of it. I seriously doubt that. I just don't see the Democrats giving anything up on that. If they were to do that, illegal immigration would drop, and again, President Trump would be able to declare victory, and I just don't see the Democrats giving him any victories going into 2020.
Okay, well, Brandon, right now, I believe you're in Tucson, Arizona. Describe for me, please, the situation there. Are we still seeing 1,000 asylum seekers per day coming across the border?
We're actually seeing a huge drop ever since President Trump was able to get that deal. And again, he did this without Congress. This is another reason why I just don't think that a deal is going to get done with Congress. But he was able to strike a deal with the Mexican government that any president prior to him would have loved to have had. And since that deal since he was able to strike that deal, we've seen a drop in nearly a third of the number of people that were crossing the border prior to the month of June. So we're already seeing the huge dividends of that experience that President Trump brought to the Oval Office, and frankly, it's paying really, really well for the Border Patrol agents.
Now,
and we're ecstatic to see this drop.
Is there a big drop-off in particular in Central Americans, Guatemalans, El Salvadorans?
Yes.
That's where the big decline has taken place, I take it.
It is. We're, in the month of May, we saw some things that we just hadn't seen before. We were seeing people from African nations. We were seeing people coming across the Mexican border from Cuba. And all of these countries, we're seeing a huge decline in all of them. But the major decline, obviously, is going to be from the Northern Triangle countries of El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras. So, again, this is we're seeing a drop in everything. And that's very, very welcome, because the numbers completely and totally overwhelmed CBP, completely overwhelmed Border Patrol, and it overwhelmed all of our resources. So we had to see that drop, and we are seeing it.
I think this is the first time you've been on this program, and you've been with us for a long, long time. I think this is the first time you've ever had real progress to report for us in terms of the number of people coming across the border.
And every time that I've spoken with you, Stuart, you and I have been optimistic that something was going to happen, and we've been hoping that something was going to happen, and now we're actually seeing it happening. And again, I'm glad to be able to come on and report to you and let you know that things are looking up on the border, and I think that President Trump is going to get done what he needs to get done. Right. These ICE raids will happen. That will help border security.
Brandon Judd joining us today from Tucson, Arizona. Thank you, Brandon. Let me go straight to this. Breaking news. The Pentagon has confirmed that the military carried out cyber attacks against Iran. What do we know?
Identifying which ones were involved in